this is Gomich. I want to review Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2, which I actually liked better than the first movie. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, is that it's a far better story than the first movie. You have the director admitted he didn't have the money to make the first, to do a good job with the first one. He just made it to make money so he could do the second one. Well, for one thing they did, they changed out the actor who played Christopher Robin for Scott Chambers, who, by the way, is the director of Peter Pan, Neverland Nightmare. Yeah, he goes by a different name in that. So he also changed the actor who plays Winnie the Pooh, and the mask and everything. You can tell they spent money. It's all practical effects. The story's better than the first movie. They kind of redo the first movie. They make the first movie be a reenactment of what happened in the first movie, and of course most reenactments are bad. So yeah, they kind of point that out. And the actors who play Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Owl, and Piglet, they do have a new Piglet. He looks more like Piglet from the story. He doesn't have all those horns and everything. The Master did actually are better look. Everything about it is much better. The story's better. Yes, it's gory. The practical effects make more sense than, and essentially we have, this is after the first, what happened with the first movie. Christopher Robin he's sort of dressed like a doctor at a hospital, and of course most people in the town think he's a murderer. They don't believe his story that Winnie the Pooh and Piglet killed all these people, so they think he's done it. And and like I said, his acting does a great job. Everybody's really good in this movie, from the actors playing the characters from Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Owl, Piglet. They're all really good. And the other actors, they do a good job. The practical effects make this movie so much more bearable to watch than the first one. I hated the first movie. That CGI shit ruined the movie. And yeah, so, and the story is, it's a year after what happened, and then we find, as the story goes on, he sees this janitor, what looks like a janitor, and it sticks with Christopher Robin. And later he has this, during therapy, he has a memory that he had forgotten about come back. And it turns out Christopher Robin had a brother. I think it might have been his twin brother. I think that's what they're hinting at. And he tells this to his parents, and his parents finally admit that yes, he had a brother who was abducted. They didn't know what happened to him, and we find out this janitor happens to be a genius. Let's just say he was a not medical doctor. He was a genius. He did gene splicing, so he abducted these kids and mixed them with animal DNA to create Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, and Owl. Yes, and there'll be other characters, because there's definitely a third one coming, and it gave him the ability to regenerate, unlike in that movie, which, by the way, does come in with this girl right here. No, that's his sister. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Here, it's hard to tell. She's his, I guess, kind of his girlfriend, and she's watching a kid, and then he's watching the first movie, and she goes, because it's a movie about the reenactment. She goes, "Oh, this is all lies." Turns out, when the hunters, they're going after him. Some people believe his parents know that he didn't kill anybody, but some people, of course, believe he did. They don't believe his story that Winnie the Pooh and Piglet and killed all those people. And then these guys were in the woods. They're obviously, looking for them, and they get, except for one of them gets brutally murdered by Owl and Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. Oh, and they keep Tinker locked up because he's quite dangerous as the movie progresses. Yeah. I mean, everything about this is fucking superior. I mean, after seeing the Peter Pan, Neverland Nightmare, and then I finally watched this on Peacock because it was free. Because I have, because I have Comcast, I get Peacock free. You do ads at the beginning of the movie plays, and I enjoyed this. It's really not that long. It's an hour and 40 minutes, and it really, really is well done. I'm not going to tell you the end, and then the movie gets to a point where he runs into Christopher Robin ends up finding out about this genealogist, and he goes to his home where he basically explains everything that he took. Yeah, and he kidnapped his brother, and he mixed his DNA. He turned him into Winnie the Pooh. All these kids, Owl and the Tigger, and probably others that we'll see in the third one, were once children that he mixed with DNA, and then he buried them. And they came out of the ground, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty messed up. And Winnie the Pooh goes home, which is Christopher Robin's brother, and he kills his parents. Yeah, he murders. I mean, we see these the knife handle, the knife blade sticking out, and basically we know that's going to come up at some point in the movie, and does, and it's fucked up. He basically shoves her face in knives. I mean, then his father, we don't see what he does to the father. We hear his scream, and then his little sister, not knowing that Winnie the Pooh's actually her brother, we don't see what happens to her. And Christopher Robin comes home, he sees his father, his mother, and thinks his sister is dead, and then confronts knowing that this is his brother, confronts him, and yeah. And he can't bring himself to hurt him, and he just wants to know where his sister is. And then the final showdown takes place at this warehouse, I think. And basically, a lot of people are getting killed. Oh yeah, Tigger and Winnie the Pooh are brutally murdering people. I mean, and basically Christopher Robin grabs an axe and, hits Winnie the Pooh in the head. Yeah, like I said, the regenerative, that it's in the recording that he says they have the ability to regenerate. This is how the sequel is going to come about, the third one. That just is a little spoiler. Yeah, they're going to be back. They can regenerate. Even if they're killed, they regenerate. That, actually got to give them credit. Nice. Yeah, this is a far better movie than the first one. This made a bunch of money, so they are getting a third one. And, so yeah, I really, really, I couldn't believe how much better this movie is. And it shows that he actually understood that with the money, he was able to make the budget was $1 million, so he's already done far better. And that $1 million, you could tell they spent right. And give it to this guy, Scott Chambers. He's great as Chris Robin. He brings emotion to the character when he sees his parents. Unlike the guy in the first movie, I can't really blame him. It's just not a good movie. It's just bad. This one, you could tell they put the money in time for the masks and everything, so that when they move their masks, the masks move they're like full, like this, so that you don't see that they're wearing a mask, and and everything was really well done. I enjoyed this movie. I like the practical effects. I like the gore. I mean, God, they went really in on the blood and gore, and yeah, you can tell he learned a lot from the first movie, and it's like, yeah, so much better. I mean, everybody who played their characters were great. So yeah, I highly recommend this movie. If you like the first movie, hate it. This one, it's like Smile. I hated the first Smile, loved the sequel. So yeah, I just wanted to do this real quick. So this is Gilgamesh. I will talk to you later. Bye.